Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of JoyBaking.com. Today we're going to make magic bars, also known as coconut dream bars, hello dollies, or even 6 or 7 layer bars. I'm going to tell you the difference between those two in a little bit, but this is what they look like. They start with a graham cracker base, and then we're going to layer on some coconut, some chocolate chips, chopped nuts, and we're going to bind it all together with some sweetened condensed milk, so they are sweet and they are kind of chewy and gooey and really good. So the first thing you need to do is to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. And then you will need a 9-inch square, 23 centimeter baking pan. Now I like to line my pan with foil. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, if you do it up the sides, then it makes it really easy to get the baked bars out of the pan, because then we just lift the foil up and take it off. And two, your pan doesn't get dirty, so less cleanup. And then what I like to do is either you can butter your foil, or you could just spray it with one of those non-stick sprays. Make sure it doesn't stick. Okay. So now, we're going to start with our graham cracker base. So you will need 1.5 cups, which is 150 grams of graham cracker crumbs. Now you can buy graham cracker crumbs, but actually I prefer, I don't know, I find the flavor better for some reason when I take graham crackers and then crush them. So just a side note, if you want to make your own graham crackers, then you could go to either the YouTube channel or the website, and I do have a recipe for graham crackers. The other alternative you could use is crushed digestive biscuits. So you will need, for 1.5 cups, you will need about 9.5 commercial graham crackers. Now, I'm going to do it in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can still crush. The way I crush my graham crackers sometimes is I take them, I just put them in a plastic bag, and then I take like a rolling pin, and then, you know, just crush them that way. Then just put your crushed graham crackers in a bowl, and then you add your melted butter. The other way is, what I'm going to do today, is show you how to do it in your food processor. So you take all your graham crackers, kind of crush them up a little. Start it off. And then I'm just going to process until they become crumbs. Okay, that looks pretty good. And so now I'm going to add 1/2 cup, 113 grams of melted butter. I'm using unsalted. I prefer the flavor, and then that way, you know, I can control the salt. But if you have a favorite salted butter, you could use that. Now I'm not going to put, you know, depending on how fresh your graham crackers are, you may need the full 1/2 cup, or you might not. So I'm just going to add like most of it, and then we'll see. We want it just kind of everything to be, all the crumbs to be moistened. Yeah, I think I'm going to need them all the butter. Yeah. Can't hurt. Okay. Okay, so if you were doing it by hand, just put it in a bowl, add your melted butter, kind of mix it all together, you know. And so, that's that. You can always tell if you have enough butter if you kind of take it and it holds together nicely. So then just dump it in here, and we're just going to press it into the bottom of our pan. So you can just use your fingers, or use back of a spoon. Some people like to take like a little measuring cup and press it down. So whatever way you want to do it, just try to make an even layer and make sure you get in the corners. That looks pretty good. So now's the easy part. These are so easy to make. First thing we're going to put is some dried coconut. You can use sweetened or unsweetened. You can use shredded or flaked. Now, because, we're using sweetened condensed milk, these are pretty sweet. So I'm actually using the unsweetened dried coconut. And like I said, either one. And you need 1 cup, which is 55 grams. Layer it. That's why they're also known as layer bars. Some people say the reason they're called magic is because you're just layering it, all these ingredients, and then when it comes out of the oven, magically you have a bar. And then we're going to add 1 cup, 175 grams of chocolate chips. You could use semi-sweet or bittersweet. I'm leaning here towards, I think these are 60% cocoa content because, again, I like a little more on the bitter side because we have a lot of sweetness here. But that's up to you. Probably even use milk chocolate chips if you'd like. Again, just kind of that's that. And then here's where the difference between a 6 and a 7 layer bar. If you add the butterscotch chips, it'll be a 7 layer. If you don't, it'll be a 6 layer. So I've got 1 cup, 175 grams of butterscotch chips. I was thinking that you could, if you didn't have or you didn't want to use butterscotch, you could even use white chocolate chips. I think that would taste really good. This is a great bar. If you need something really quick that tastes good, this is the bar to make. Kind of tastes like a candy bar, so everybody likes it. And it stores really well. So that's that. And then we have 1 cup, 100 grams of chopped nuts. I'm using pecans. I kind of like, with the sweetened condensed milk that kind of takes on a caramel flavor when it bakes, I think pecans are really good. You could use walnuts. I think hazelnuts would be good too, even almonds. You could put your own little twist on this bar. And our last ingredient is 1 14-ounce can, 396 grams, of sweetened condensed milk. Sweetened condensed milk is a mixture of milk and sugar that has like about 60% of its water or cooked off. And it is very sweet, it is very sticky and very thick. So what I'm going to do is just pour it. I just kind of go up and down over the top. And then as it bakes, it's going to go down and bind everything together. And, sweetened condensed milk, when it's baked or cooked, it takes on both a caramel flavor and a color, nice, beautiful golden brown color. Or you may know that you can cook sweetened condensed milk for a while on the stove and you will have dulce de leche. Sure, I'm getting the corners there, so it's really just covering the whole thing. Okay. Doesn't that look good? Who won't like these? So now, to bake these, everyone's oven is a little different. I'm going to say between 30 and 35 minutes. I like to cook them until it's like golden brown. And then when I gently, you want it set, which means when I kind of shake the pan, it doesn't jiggle too much. Of course, the longer you bake them, the more chewy they will become. If you bake them a little less, they'll be, more gooey and less chewy. So I'm going to say 30 to 35 minutes. So our magic bars are done. Put your pan on a wire rack. As you can see, beautiful golden brown. There is some bubbling, just a little. And then when I shake the pan, it doesn't really move. So that's, although you could insert a toothpick into the center and come out clean, but I kind of go more by the look of my magic bars. So now, obviously too hot, we're going to let them cool down to room temperature, and then when we come back, we will try one. So we're now ready to cut our magic bars. They've completely cooled. I take them out of the pan, peel back your foil, and then use a sharp knife. Now you can, if you want, you can cut off the edges, but actually I like those nice and crisp. And, these are, as you can well imagine, they are quite rich. So, you might want to cut them into fairly small sizes, but it's up to you. So just do a cut and then, however big or small you want. I'm just going to cut, but there, just to show you. As you can see, it all kind of all meshes together. You just layer it, and then that condensed milk goes down and then just kind of binds everything together. I'm going to try a little piece. That is very good. It's what I like, the edges are really nice and crisp, and yet in the center, soft and chewy and gooey. And then you've got, so many flavors. The graham crackers, the coconut, the chocolate chips, the butterscotch chips, and the chopped nuts. And then the sweetness of the condensed milk. Excellent bar. As you can see, very easy to make. Actually, the flavor will soften a little if you store them overnight. I mean, they store really well. So this would be an ideal, if you last minute kind of dessert, potluck, Christmas, you would need something quickly, make these. And until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.